Super cool radio. Hello everyone, I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. The Wisconsin Takeover this week continues with this band. Earlier this week I chatted with Lines of Loyalty, but now for this episode, joining me is a great blues rock band also from Wisconsin. Last year they released a new album entitled Into the Red. This year they'll be going on tour with Dark Sun starting on March 17th. Please welcome Bourbon House.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Good job doing all of that research right off the bat.
Hey, I try to be as prepared as I can when I do these.
Nice.
So, and making up Bourbon House, joining me at this time, we have Lacey on vocals and Jason on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, research paying off. So before we jump into everything, I know I just laid out a bunch of great stuff to discuss. I know early in 2021 you guys went on tour with my friends the Almas, whose shirt I'm repping right now. How was it touring with them?
Fun. We've been friends with the Almas for a long time, and yeah, they're great people, and they're very professional. Yeah, they were great. We always like hanging out with them.
Yeah, as do I. It's always a fun time, and it's very professional. And they every time, every venue I've seen them at, they always put on a great rock show.
They do. They really do. Yeah.
All right, so obviously focused on you guys, I'm chatting with Bourbon House. So before Bourbon House, how did you guys get started as musicians?
My first band is actually Bourbon House, so you'd be better to answer this, I guess.
Well, I was in some bands before Bourbon House, but they're mainly cover bands that played a few originals on the side, you know? And so with Lacey, I felt like her voice was so unique that we should be making our own music. And
yeah,
so this is really, it's a unique experience for me too, because it's kind of the opposite of what I normally do. It's, you know, I've always written a lot of originals, but I never really had an outlet for recording them and getting them out there. And I saw this as an opportunity to do that. So I think we're making a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I think you guys definitely are. I didn't actually know. So Bourbon House is your first band for you, Lacey.
For me, yeah. I did some, just random, like some musical theater and just, a couple of shows by myself, just like easy acoustic guitar singing stuff. That's about it, though.
All right, so now I'm going to switch gears. So for Bourbon House, so how did you guys meet and decide you want to play music?
Well, we met because we were dating, and then we were writers at the time. We were writing books, so. Yeah, I don't know. We just kind of fell into it. It's just something that we wanted to do. We were doing some acoustic shows. We did some like open mics and stuff, and then just kind of developed from there.
I got you. So start off writing books, then transition to music.
Yeah.
But that's pretty. Did you use some of your old like book material for songs?
No, it's a very different thing for sure. Yeah.
Right on. So for the new album, which as I said in my intro, Into the Red, that was released last year, how was it writing and recording the album?
It was kind of an unusual experience. We had this idea to just write and record a few songs at a time. So we recorded 4 songs at Pine Hollow Audio in Eau Claire. That was 3 years ago now. And then later that year, we went to Detroit and recorded 4 more songs. And then a year after that, we went to Cherry Pit in Menominee Falls and recorded 5 more songs. So that's how the album came together. We just recorded a few songs at a few different studios over the course of 2.5 years.
Yeah, it was a long album creation span.
And when you were writing and recording these songs, did you know that you were going to make an album out of this? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind. I mean, it's always the goal to have enough for an album, but we never want to do more than 5 at a time. We're, at least the way we're working right now, that seems to be the best way to do it. So you can like really focus on those songs and make those songs the way you want them to be. So yeah, but we always envision it being an album.
Yeah, gotcha. And I was jamming to it last night. I very much enjoy Into the Red. That's how I was making my notes. I was listening to the album. I really enjoy it, especially obviously your vocals are amazing. Plus the killer guitar riffs you guys come up with. Dead in the Water is my favorite off that album.
Thank you. That's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, I love the guitar riff on that album. So for you guys, like, what is your writing process? How do you build a song?
It's kind of different every time, but it's a little bit similar. It's always me and Jason. That not always. There's one song on the album, "Lovesick," is actually written by our drummer, but it usually starts with the riff and then the melody, and then we're just kind of jamming with an acoustic guitar before we bring it to the band, and then from there changes 17,000 times.
Only?
Yeah, only.
Yeah, it varies quite a bit. I mean, sometimes a song begins with a guitar riff, and we build the song around that because we want to have like a great central riff and just kind of a rock and blues rock kind of song. Then there are other times where we have a title of the song first, mm-hmm. So then the lyrics begin to come together, and then we figure out what kind of music would go with those lyrics. And then the third way we write is sometimes we have an inspirational song where we hear something on the radio and we're like, oh, I love Otis Redding. We should try to write a song like that, Mm-hmm. So we do that quite a bit, actually,
Yeah.
We pick one of our favorite songs and think, let's try to write a song.
Let's do something.
And it always ends up totally different. So nobody ever guesses what songs were the inspiration for the ones that we write. But those are basically our 3 methods.
Yeah. Good way of laying that down.
Yeah, right on. Especially with the inspiration for song, you don't want to obviously don't want to come off as just you're ripping off
right, exactly.
And so you got to obviously change it and put your own style on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you mentioned Dead in the Water, and the inspiration that we had for that initially was Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, because we liked the idea of the cool guitar riff, and then there's a vocal, and then the guitar stops while the vocal's happening, and it just kind of alternates like that for a while, and then there's a little chorus part where everything's going at once. So we started that. We began with that as our starting point, and then,
I don't think anybody would hear that.
Obviously,
you know what I mean?
It goes off on its own. It takes on a life of its own, and then, in the end, it sounds like us, and it doesn't really resemble the song that inspired it.
Yeah, I never would have guessed, Black Dog was the inspiration for that song, because again, it sounds different, not only for the style, but it also has your own flair and writing.
Right.
I'm still here. My battery is dying
The cat
for no reason.
unplugged the computer or something. So.
No problem. I have a cat as well, and she just gets me in trouble as well.
Yeah.
They actually unplugged the router right before. That's why we were late getting on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, why aren't we connected to the internet suddenly?
Now they're ripping down the Christmas lights.
Which we never take down.
Which we never take down.
You have to like cat-proof stuff, even if like, this should be okay. But then in the back of my mind, it's like, no, they're gonna get in trouble somehow if I don't do this.
Yeah, they're gonna hang themselves. It's a thing.
I know cats are amazing for the stuff that they're the amount of like mischief they can cause for how like not very big they are is very impressive.
Yeah.
And just the natural need to like knock stuff off, no matter like where it's set up. It's just it has to be on the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. I could talk about cats for a while, but
It's a cat podcast.
But I had an interesting question for Into the Red. So last year I was chatting with my friend Aaron of LC Banks. We were talking about like laying on an album, the track songs, and all of that. So for Into the Red, how did you come up with the song order for the album?
That's a good question.
Well, I usually come up with the sequence of the songs for the albums, and I try to put a rockin' song right up front, kind of like Led Zeppelin did. Like their softest album is probably Zeppelin 3, but they still put Immigrant Song #1, and then they go into all the softer stuff later on. So because we try to think of the song that, I don't know, that's really going to get you worked up and make you want to listen to the rest of it. So. Yeah. And then I guess there's a theory behind why every song is where it is.
Well, you want it to kind of be. You want it to have a flow rhythm and like a kind of a roller coaster a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to have two ballads next to each other.
Right.
And, there's all these things to consider. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely start off hot with, the first track, because I think you kind of have to, like, especially with albums, unless, you have a different music style, but you kind of have to get people interested. You got to get them energized, pumped up to listen to the rest of the album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can definitely see the theory behind that stuff. And it has a really great flow. As I said, I was listening to it. I actually was like, I want to go to bed, but I also want to finish the album, so I stayed up later.
Thank you.
I mean, sleep's overrated anyway. It's not super important. Yeah, no, definitely a really, really awesome album. And I know going back before the album, because I was obviously doing my research, you guys released some great looking music videos for obviously Dead in the Water, 6,000 Miles, I Got Trouble, Too High to Care, and Devil on My Heels. How was it filming those music videos?
So the last 3 that we filmed are with our current director, I guess you would call her. She's been doing a lot of stuff. She did our latest photo shoot for us too. Her name's Jocelyn, and her company is Cyclops Girl Media, maybe? It's Cyclops Girl something.
I'll leave a link for it in the description.
Perfect. Yeah, we kind of, so what we do with her usually is we send her the song, and then because we want our videos to be a vibe, they have to vibe with the music. And for us, like, we know the song, we know it a little bit too much. So if we send it to her, we're like, what are you getting? And she's been spot on every time. And we're like, that's what we were kind of thinking of doing. And then, we work together doing it. Even like through the edits, we work with her. So it's always really fun. We really like doing music videos.
Yeah, as I said, they turned out really great. Obviously, between like telling a story, the visual, the graphics, all of that stuff. And I have to ask for like Dead in the Water, because I've talked to other bands who've like done some filming like in or around water.
Yeah.
Was the water warm or cold?
It was freezing. It was early May.
Answer I always get.
Yeah, it was early May in Wisconsin. So.
Yeah, the ice had just melted off the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was early May, so it was very cold.
Yeah, incredibly cold. But I will say that I don't know if you've heard much about like cold therapy or whatever. Like,
not too much.
Cold water is like, or just like forcing yourself to be really cold for like a second even is like really good for you. I felt amazing after I got out of that water. I'm not gonna lie. So do it. Maybe like the polar plunge. Maybe that's what's going on. Why people are like down for it, because they feel good after.
I wouldn't have guessed. I mean, I don't really like being cold myself. That's why I never really tried it. Even though I live in the the Midwest with you guys, where it's pretty much cold 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, we don't know why we live here.
It's a lot colder here. It's been 0 degrees here for like 2.5 months straight right now. So.
Yeah, I'm at least in single digits, so way ahead of you guys.
Ooh, good for you.
It was 9 yesterday.
Oh, wow. Oh, terrible.
You can tell that we're from the Midwest because we can joke about this and it actually makes sense.
You have to, or else, it's the end for you.
Yeah, I question why I'm here most days, especially like I don't have a garage, so like my car is usually frosted or iced or frozen shut, and it's just this is wonderful.
Yeah, love scraping windshields.
Yeah, that's why like right now I don't have to wake up as early, so I try to hopefully it defrosts a little bit, but when it's it's 9 degrees or colder, it doesn't help much.
No, it doesn't.
The best is I had to get somewhere, and actually I wound up being like 15 minutes late because my windshield wipers were frozen to my car.
Oh,
I was like, this is just great.
I don't know if I've ever had that happen. That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, 'cause it was slightly warmer, so it was like 32 degrees, so it rained, and then it froze.
That always happens. Every time it rains, then it gets so cold immediately. You can't drive, can't walk, can't live.
And that's winter.
It's a great thing.
It's just fantastic. That's why when people say winter is their favorite month, I go, I like it around Christmas, but then it could just go away after that. I'm fine with it.
Just for like the nostalgia kind of, the pretty falling snow, and then that's it. Bye.
Exactly. Like after that, I just wanted to, go away. I wanted to warm up. So I think eventually I'll just move to Hawaii or something.
That's maybe a really expensive place to go, but go for it.
I mean, if it's warm all the time, you technically just live on the beach. You don't need a house, right? I guess. Was that the cat again?
Jeez, they're crazy right now. Like, why can't this be the time that you're sleeping? They sleep 10 times a day.
I know. See,
anyway, I'm sorry.
My cat got the hint. She's sleeping.
Yeah, your cat's smart.
There's a big thing I want to chat with you guys. I almost left this off my notes because I forgot to write it in. You guys have a great tour coming up with Dark Sun next month as part of the High Open Road Tour. How's it? Are you excited to go on tour?
Yeah. It's it's like one thing that we can look forward to. It's really hard to look forward to things in the middle of winter, in the middle of a never-ending pandemic. It's just, so when you have something like that, it's all I'm thinking about is the camaraderie on the road and meeting people and having fun with people and playing live. There's no better feeling than doing that, so we're excited.
Yeah, for sure. And I know obviously Dark Sun, I really enjoy them as well. And obviously with you guys, I know it's going to be a great time. So how do you guys prepare for a tour?
How do we prepare for a tour?
Fill up the van.
With gas?
Yeah. I don't know. We try to make sure we have a bass player who knows the songs.
Yeah.
Most of the time we don't. But right now we do. And I think, we just rehearsed the songs that we're going to be playing on tour, which isn't every song that we have, but, the songs that we're going to be using in our sets. Make sure we know them really well. We might do a little dress rehearsal as far as figuring out, who moves where and how and where the solos go and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But you just try to make sure that we're going to be able to put on a good show. And it's not really a whole lot of work because we do play shows in between the tours too. So.
Yeah, we haven't played a lot, recently or anything. So this is going to be really good to get us like nice and nice and tight, and like kind of forces us to get our show tight together, you know. But we're also very like but I can't say that word right now. We improvise a lot on stage too. So we do have to rely a lot on like stage communication, but we're actually pretty good with that. And I think our, you know, the bassist that's coming with us, our new bassist is, he's good with that too. But I mean, the three of us, me, Jason, and Ryan, have been playing together for so long that we like our eyes make everything you need to know happen, you know? So, yeah.
It's good having that communication, especially where you don't really have to say too much. You just, you know, one look or one, you know, just doing one thing, and you guys kind of already know what track you're going on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And having a bass player that knows what he's doing is important. I've heard bass players are important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They are, and they're flaky too.
But believe it or not, we've played probably 7 shows without a bass player. So
we actually have, yeah.
Sometimes it has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to get the show you know, done and get going and all that. I did see, I don't know if you're familiar with Crash Karma. Ralph has a guitar and a bass that he put together. So like one going down his guitar and going up his bass. Like he like wired and did everything himself. So that is an option.
That sounds really hard.
Oh, it is.
How would you?
It's gonna play weird bass
I don't
lines.
get it. Yeah, for real. Wow.
Yeah, he was explaining it to when I interviewed him, and I didn't really understand it.
Yeah. Well, I know that you can like split, you know, with like a bass amp or whatever, and it'll do just like basically like an octave down or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's an option, but it's not the best option. I wouldn't want to do it. I want a bassist.
Well, at least you have one.
Yes, we do. He's been great.
For sure. So if people haven't seen you live, you know, obviously with the tour coming up, what can they expect from seeing Bourbon House live?
Spontaneity, I guess. We don't. Our shows aren't really over rehearsed. We know which songs we're going to play, but we don't really, you know, we don't play the songs exactly the same way. We improvise quite a bit, and the stuff we say in between the songs is always unique. And, you know, we leave a lot of room to make each show unique.
Mm-hmm. We'll be doing Into the Red. You should be able to hear all of those songs live, plus some other, like, you know, oldies but goodies. Lots of energy. We have a lot of energy. I don't know. We just like to have fun.
That should be the main goal of playing shows.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, there's not a whole lot of doing unless you're making a ton of money.
I don't know why you would do it. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, like being a bass player for Metallica. Probably not fun, but at least you get paid good.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely, and just having that, just kind of the improvising stuff. You know, obviously that's kind of like in the blues fashion of stuff, and they would just improvise, you know, different just lines and just to keep going and stuff. So with the blues rock style that you guys have. Yeah,
like you won't get the same solo from Jason ever.
No,
he never plays the same solo in any song of ever. So. It's kind of nice. I like to improvise too, a little bit with vocals, and drum fills are always different. And so, yeah, it's a unique experience at every show.
Exactly. So, if obviously people have either seen you before or are going to see you on this tour, like it's not the same show at every venue, every stop.
Yes, exactly.
For sure, but it kind of leads me to one thing. So, Jason, for your solos, obviously is. You guys said it's different every time. So is it just playing how you feel or just going with the song? So how do you do the solos?
Yeah, I just go with how I feel. I mean, I don't even write them ahead of time when I record them. I just play a whole bunch of them, and between me and the engineer, we figure out which one should be on the album. Mm-hmm. But live, if I play 10 shows, you'll hear 10 different solos. For the most part. I mean, there's some songs where over time you kind of start playing it almost the same way every time. But I don't feel obligated to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, just kind of going with it. And obviously, if you do it a bunch of times, the muscle memory kind of goes to similar, kind of similar to what you're doing. But the way, obviously, you guys are able to change it up, improvise, I know it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, as I was doing more research on you guys last time, I overlooked but now I know you guys are playing Rockfest in your home state of Wisconsin coming up in July. How does it feel to play that fest?
We're very excited to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're on the Who's on Top stage on the same day as all of the female fronted. Like the Pretty Reckless is on that day, Hailstorm, Evanescence, and it's on the Friday. I don't know. We're super excited about it. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it feels great. Every year we see the lineup for Rockfest going back the last 20, 30 years, and we think, oh, it must be nice. Well, it is nice.
Yeah.
So.
Will this be your first time playing at the show?
Yeah. We actually haven't played many big festivals. We've only done smaller ones. So it's the start of some good stuff.
Definitely, for sure. It looks like a really great lineup. I was looking at the show yesterday. It looks like all three, I think you can start on Wednesday for like part of a day too. Yeah. So all of those days look really great. And obviously you guys with Evanescence, Hailstorm, all of those great bands as well. It looks like a solid lineup.
Mm-hmm. Are you going?
I'm very tempted to.
Yeah. You might be out of luck. I don't know. Yeah, I know the tickets have been hard to, I think they're going pretty fast.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
If it was a little bit closer, I probably would. It's a little bit of a drive for me.
I get it.
But I do hope you guys have a great time, and maybe you'll see me. I don't know.
Thank you. Okay.
But as I'm kind of wrapping up this interview, I had a great time chatting with you guys. But I got a fun question before we head out. I will clarify: outside of your own band's music, what music have you been listening to this week?
This week?
This week.
God, we've been really busy. We were in the studio. So I might have to go back. A couple of weeks. I've been listening to some Dirty Honey. Yeah. We've also been listening to, a lot of bands that we were writing songs kind of like it. So like Otis Redding, he said stuff about Otis Redding. We were listening to a lot of doo-wop. I wish there was some, I would like to find some newer doo-wop-y bands. I know they're out there. So if you know any, let me know.
I do not, but not too much of the style I listen to. But if anyone listening or watching has any suggestions, then please let us know.
Let me know.
Jason, what about for you?
Let's see. The last CD I listened to was, I think, Clint Black's first album.
Interesting.
And that was 2 days ago. I just stream random songs and playlists on Spotify. I always listen to a lot of Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and that kind of stuff. Older soul. Mm-hmm. Kind of burnt out on classic rock, I think. I still love it. But I can only listen to Sweet Home Alabama and Bohemian Rhapsody so many times.
Exactly.
So I think I know those songs pretty well. So, I kind of avoid the genre that we play. I listen to mostly country, soul, R&B, a little bit of jazz, Latin music, and Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
I was digging all of those. I listened to sort of similar stuff this week. Actually, I've been listening to Alice Cooper, which is classic rock. But,
Nice.
I've been on that kick lately because I just saw him live like a few weeks ago. So I'm like, you know what? It's
Great.
definitely Alice Cooper.
Nice.
He was one of my favorites growing up. I like Love It to Death, School's Out, the Killer album, Muscle of Love, and Welcome to My Nightmare. Those are my favorite albums of his.
Going very classic Alice Cooper on that for some of the original.
Yeah.
Even into the original band, which some people don't realize there was a band named Alice Cooper before Alice Cooper. But those are Killer's honestly one of my favorite albums by him. So I'm digging that. I really am. I was listening to a live album Sunday because I had to drive to Fort Wayne, which is like an hour and a half. So give or take the album, 120 or hour 20 for the CD. So I was like, it's a good time to bust out some Alice Cooper.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
So as we discussed, you guys, many great things coming for Bourbon House for 2022. Now I have heard a rumor you guys are working on the new album. How's that going?
Good. We're we just wrapped up our 10th song on it. So we're, just waiting on mixes and stuff. So we should be dropping some singles, at least a single soon.
Can you give a little bit of hints about the new album?
It is eclectic. Like all of our stuff is pretty, we kind of like to do whatever we want to do, but we have, a lot that's in our, like our signature sound, you're going to hear some more blues rock, some heavier stuff. You're also going to hear maybe like some more softer things and folksiness. And we have a guest on there. Yeah.
Guest musician. You'll hear a lot of what you like from us, about us, and some surprises. I think we delve into some genres that we've never explored before. So it's all really good, though.
Nice.
We think so. We hope you think so. Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed Into the Red in the previous album, so I'm definitely looking forward to the next one as well. Is this your first time having a guest for an album?
Yes. Well, no.
No, not really.
That's a lie.
We've had guest piano players on the first album. Yeah, we used.
That was the only one, though. Just a guest piano player on the first one.
Well, and Evan did some. So we've had a couple non-band members perform on the album before. Yeah.
So this is like a different instrument and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I definitely look forward to obviously the singles and of course the new album as well. But in the meantime, obviously Into the Red, all the other music is available, so definitely check that out. And kind of looking, obviously at the tour coming up, Rockfest, the new album. What's kind of the rest of the plans for 2022?
Just more releases, more touring. I don't know. You could expect to see a lot of us in 2022. Music videos, all of the things we've been doing, plus more.
Yeah, I think it's everything we've been doing, the videos, releasing singles, lots of content, but everything's going to be amped up.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead this year.
Full speed ahead.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Hopefully I get to see you guys at the show sometime, hopefully. But in the meantime, I'll be jamming out to your music. And if people are curious, where can they find Bourbon House online?
Well, our website is bourbonhouserocks.com, which kind of links you to everything. But we are on Facebook, Bourbon House Official. Instagram is Bourbon House Official as well. Twitter is Bourbon House _. And then we are Bourbon House Band on TikTok. And then obviously you can find our music anywhere you can stream music or buy music.
And you can get merch from the Etsy store.
Yeah, we have an Etsy store. That's where we set up our our merch that we can sign and all that stuff. So
I'm going to leave all those links in the description. Make sure to check it out. Check out the store. Follow them on all the socials as well. Yeah, it's pretty much do that. I'll do all of that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio. Great time chatting with you. Please check out Stream Support. Give a like to Bourbon House. See them live when you can. And in the meantime, make sure to check out Into the Red. For Lacey and Jason, I am the host, as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. Stay frosty.
thanks for having us.
Thank you.